Hello, hello. Hi, what's today? Sunday? Happy Sunday, everyone. I am Nurse Sam. I am coming to you live. I warned you guys yesterday that I was going to be taking over this Instagram, and that is exactly what I'm doing. We are going to be talking about all things LPNs and LVNs. If you guys don't know what an LPN or LVN is, that's okay. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about and discussing today. So, hello, hello, hello. If you guys do not know me, once again, my name is Nurse Sam. My Instagram handle is @thenurseSam. I am a licensed practical nurse. I have been so for 7 years, going on 8. And I am currently a retired LPN. I am not practicing bedside. I've been retired for 2 years now because I'm doing this Nurse Sam thing full time. I'm 100% dedicated to making sure you guys succeed and pass nursing school and pass the NCLEX, both LPN and RN. Okay, I have helped at this point thousands of RNs and LPNs both survive and thrive in nursing school, because we all know nursing school is more than just taking those tests. It's a drain on you mentally, physically, emotionally, everything. So you need more than just study guides. You need almost like a life guide to be able to juggle all of the things that come with nursing school. So like a work-life balance or school-life balance is very, very important. So that is basically what I'm dedicated to, making sure you guys are getting through that in a most healthy way as possible. But thank you guys, thank you. I'm also doing this to encourage LPNs. As an LPN, a lot of people ask me, how do I deal with and how do I cope with all the negativity and the disrespect? And that is, honestly, that is something that's gonna be discussed later, because it's definitely something that you have to acknowledge from within. It's just kind of like bullying. How do you not take it so personally? Oh, thank you guys. So we're definitely going to go into that. But if you guys had any questions, please ask me now. Where's one? I always do this. There it is. Charger. Okay. Making sure we don't die. All right. Perfect. Okay, so gonna go ahead and get into So who are you? I'm Nurse Sam. Oh my God, hi. All right, somebody said Nurse Week sent me a request. Let's see if this Someone said, how do I pass my LPN class? Any advice? Are there any online classes for prereqs? Do you recommend becoming an RN first? Ooh, great question. So a lot of people, you can't become an RN then become an LPN. Let's start there. So as far as what an LPN is, that's a licensed practical nurse. Emphasis on the N, which stands for nurse. Doesn't stand for nincompoop, doesn't stand for not a nurse, doesn't stand for noodles, I don't know, but whatever that N is, you can plug and play. It stands for nurse. Okay, it doesn't matter what level. Nurse, period, point blank. Let's just stop and start there. Okay, great. Next. All right, so you can either have a licensed practical nurse or a licensed vocational nurse. The difference is just LVNs, or licensed vocational nurses, are just what LPNs are in Texas and California. So basically LPNs and LVNs are, I would call it like the entry level of nursing. Okay, it's like it's the absolute just basic level and lowest level of nursing that you can get. You have LPN, LVN, and then you have RN, ASN as far as hierarchy goes, and level. Let's start right there. All right, LPN, LVN as far as nurses, okay? LPN, LVN, RN, ASN, RN, BSN, nurse practitioner, and then on up, okay? Thank you. So a lot of people choose to become LPNs, because it's a great stepping stone to becoming an RN. Okay, just because you become an LPN doesn't mean you don't know how to be an RN, doesn't mean you applied to RN school and didn't get in doesn't mean that you're lazy and don't want more for yourself, okay? I personally became an LPN because I wanted to get a taste of nursing school, and plus it's what I could afford at the time. I couldn't afford to go to a 4-year nursing school, and plus, well, actually I could, and plus the one that I could get into, because I was going to Spelman at the time for for theater. And then I had my grand epiphany that I wanted to I had my grand epiphany that I wanted to go to nursing school, but Spelman doesn't have a nursing program, especially at that time. So I chose to go to a technical school to get my LPN, to really decide if this is what I wanted to do. Like I said, I just switched from theater, musical theater, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to nursing. Mind you, it wasn't that big whole switch, because I was microbiology and musical theater double major at the University of Florida before I chose to move to Georgia and transfer to Spelman. And before I started at Spelman, literally a week before I was supposed to start majoring in biology, I had my major epiphany. I was like, oh my God, I want to try nursing. So at the time, I could only afford to do it out of my own pockets. So I was like, okay, let me start with LPN. It's perfectly fine, okay? I did not know the ridicule that would come to follow. Wow. Mind you, this ridicule that came it just wasn't warranted. It was based off of a lot of old and false beliefs about LPNs, that they're not real nurses, and that, oh, why don't you just do RN? And so a lot of LPNs and LVNs, before they even get to graduate, that excitement of being able to even get accepted into nursing school and to start this journey into the field of nursing is somebody put a damper on it, because they're just like, oh, it's not good enough. So you have this person that just accomplished something amazing. By the way, nursing school, whether it's LPN and RN school, nursing school is not easy to get into. I don't know who started the idea that LPN is easier than RN, just because it is a less, the scope of practice is less and it's a less level, but that's totally false. It's totally false, okay? LPN, just imagine LPN is like accelerated. Have you ever taken like a bunch of sciences during the summer? Like microbiology and anatomy during summer? Think of that as LPN school, as the PN program, okay? It was not. It was not easy at all, okay? I'm gonna add you guys at the end. Let me get my spiel out first, okay? But yeah, so LPN school is not easy. It's not an alternative just because you couldn't get into RN school, okay? It is a very difficult, not say difficult, it is a challenging program, just like the RN. It's nursing, okay? So with LPN and RN, I would say LPNs focus more on skills, and RNs focus more on the administration side, because their scope of practice is higher. So they have more of that leadership role. So their teaching and their schooling has to do more of being able to know when to delegate, as opposed to LPNs, we're taught to act. We're the ones being delegated to as far as nursing. We're the last person, or we're the first person to be delegated to as far as nursing level goes. So all the RNs can delegate down to the LPNs, the MAs, the CNAs, and the LPNs can delegate down to the MAs and RNs. So the LPNs can't delegate down to any other nurse, because we're the lowest level as far as nurses goes. But we can still delegate to MAs, CNAs, and other tasks like that. So that is one of the biggest differences between LPN and RN. And a lot of people will be like, oh, I know a lot of LPNs that can run circles around RNs and yada, yada, yada. And I honestly, I don't even get into that conversation, because your level of skill and your level of your ability to nurse, that doesn't define whether or not you're a nurse. Did you pass nursing school? Did your state board say that you can be a nurse, and did you pass NCLEX? Then you're a nurse. Congratulations. It doesn't matter if Susie over there is better at CPR or better at starting IVs than Mary over there. That doesn't mean she's a better nurse. Doesn't mean that she's better just because she can run circles around her. Maybe she's starting off new. Maybe she just hasn't gotten that particular skill. Maybe you're just better at that than her, but maybe she's better at starting Foley's than you. Does that make her a better nurse than you just because on Tuesday she was better at whatever skill than you on Monday? That's not what defines what a nurse is. And I wish that standard and that level of measurement would just disappear, because that's not what makes us nurses. That's not what makes us better than the other. Neither does our title, okay? It's about our patient care, okay? So just because an LPN may be better at skills, and like I said, LPNs are taught more to focus on skills because our level of schooling and our time of schooling is only about a year, so we can get into the field faster, which is another reason why people become LPNs. I wanted to start making money faster. So as opposed to 4 years of schooling or 2 years of schooling, let me do one, get into the field, and then start working and going to school as I work. And then ding, 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 I started a job who was able to pay for me to go back to school as well. So double win for me, but other people wasn't able to get to that point because they were too busy listening to other people saying, well, no, lower paid nurse, making fun. So the mental aspect of that is really, really important. Someone said, what's your name? I'm Nurse Sam. Hi, at the Nurse Sam on Instagram if you guys do not know me, and clearly from the comments you guys don't. So yes, shout out to all the LPNs out there. Hello. But yes, I wanted to come and definitely explain the main difference between LPNs and RNs. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're smarter, whether or not you're able to be an RN, whether or not you're able to do whatever. It's just LPNs are the starting entry of the nursing field, and then RN, whether it's AS or BSN, are more advanced. They have more responsibility. Doesn't mean they're better. They just have a higher position. I really don't know what the everything is about it. Like, it's really just that simple. The opinion about there's just no opinions about it. The fact of the matter is LPNs are nurses. LPNs are the first entry as far as nurses, and RNs are above LPNs as far as the hierarchy goes. Those are facts. Those are all facts. Whether or not you believe it or not, whether or not you think that it's a waste to do this, those are your opinions, which you're entitled to, my love. Okay, but the issue comes when you impose those opinions and try to make them fact and try to say, oh, you're not a nurse. Oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you should have just done this. You should have just become an RN. You wasted your time. Those are other people's opinions. Do not let those opinions impose your life and your decisions, okay? Because at the end of the day, who is paying for that school? Who? If is it me, then that's the only person I'm going to take advice from. Mind you, I'm going to weigh what the pros and cons of what route I'm going to take. Okay, does it make sense for me in my personal life to take the LPN route versus the RN route? That's a common question. That's an intelligent question. You're trying to see, okay, which one should I do? Does it make sense? Am I able to, sacrifice 2 to 4 years of my life? Am I able to financially afford it? What's going on in my personal life? Because your personal life is a huge, huge factor. Are you in a relationship? Is your partner on the same page as you? I will tell you this now. I don't know how many divorces, breakups, whatever happened when you go through nursing school, because you're taking your time away. So that is, when you're going to nursing school, it's a decision that you should involve everybody in the family about. It's not just what you want. Especially if you're in a family, it has to be a discussion. It's going to be time away from family. A lot of times people cannot work and do it, so your spouse is going to have to take on that responsibility, or you have to think about other financial ways, working while you do it, or taking out a loan. So all of these, you have to take all these into account when you're deciding on what route. LPN route is cheaper than RN route. Obviously, it's less school. It's 1 year versus 2 to 4. Typical average amounts, mind you, it will vary based off of your area, your state, what they include, blah, blah. But typically, an LPN program, I think it's about like 20 grand. I think you can expect. Hold on, let me look it up. Because Google is available 24/7 and it's free. So let's not guess. Average LPN schooling cost. I think it was about 20 grand. It says actually it's about 10 to 15 grand nationally. That's the average cost of tuition for LPN programs is about 10 to 15 grand nationally. So, and let's look at for RN schooling. Now that varies because it's 2 to 4 years, but it can be anywhere between 20 upwards of 80. Okay, so that is a very important factor. Can you afford to be an RN? Doesn't matter if you're able to or if you're smart enough, but can you afford, can you pay this coin to be able to do so? So that is a very important factor in deciding whether or not what route to take. So, someone said, please show your tattoo designs. I only have one tattoo and it's right here. And it says, like, the fairy dust one. Faith, trust, and pixie dust is what it says. But yes, so I really wanted to stress that. So I get a lot of questions of people saying, hey, should I do LPN? Is LPN the route for me? And I have no idea. Is it? I should be asking you, because the only person that can answer that question is you. You only know your situation. You know your finances. You know your situation as far as your family, your friends, your living situation, you know, whether or not you can dedicate that time to study to be able to actually be successful in nursing school. Does your life at that moment in time allow you to do that? The answer may be yes, and the answer may be no, and that's perfectly fine if the answer is no. If you're not at a stage in your life where you can become become a BSN, but you have to reroute and take the slow route and do LPN, that's fine. It is fine. No one's in a rush. No one is in a rush. Okay, no one's rushing you. These patients will still be here, I guarantee you. These patients will still be here. You will still be blamed for the bacon being cold. It's still going to be here. All right, so don't be on anyone's timetable but your own. Don't take I won't say don't take advice from anybody, because you want to take advice from people, but take it with a grain of salt. Don't take advice like, oh, you should do, don't take opinionated advice. Okay, take factual advice. Like, oh, okay, no, this school is better than this. I think this school, no, that's an opinionated advice. Just like, for example, the LPN versus the RN route, the cost. That's factual information. Okay. As far as, you know, the schools in your area and stuff like that, I wouldn't know that. I don't know where y'all live. You know, if y'all tell me, I would have to Google it. But just like I can Google it, so can you. So a lot of people don't know how to access the information or, you know, access information about how to become an LPN or how to become an LVN. And honestly, Google is your best friend. Google is your best friend. What I do, like, I'm IB certified. I'm also ACLS and BLS certified. When I first got out of nursing school, I didn't even know that LPNs can become certified, because everyone was just so busy telling me that I wasn't good enough and that I sucked and that, you know, why did I become an LPN? I wasted my time and money. My self-esteem was so down. I was like, okay, what's the point of this? So I didn't even think like, okay, the gift that I have and the accomplishment that I have now, I don't have to be embarrassed by it. I don't have to, like, this is an accomplishment and I can actually decorate this. So, you know, I chose to Google. I was like, okay, LPN certifications in my area. I live in Atlanta, so LPN certifications in Atlanta. At the time, they were offering it through my job and my employer, but there are other certifications you can get as an LPN. You know, you're not just a nurse. You're not just a LPN or a little play nurse. That's not your title. you are a professional nurse, you carry yourself as such, and that's basically what I did. Like, no one can tell me. I know that I'm a nurse. The state of Georgia knows that I'm a nurse. You know that I'm a nurse because my badge says it. Like, stop playing me. So, carry yourself like that. I had to stop looking for validation and seeking that validation and approval from other people. And I just kind of just had to know it and own it. And when I just had to walk into the room and just own the fact that I am your nurse today. Hello, my name is Sam, and I'm about to make you feel amazing, girl, or bro, whatever. I'm going to turn your day around, and we're going to have a great shift. What do you need? And the way that I presented myself, I didn't present myself as an RN. I didn't present myself as an LPN. I presented myself as a nurse who cared about my patients and went above and beyond. And so people stopped asking me, okay, are you an LPN or RN? And when they did ask me, they wanted to know because either they were in nursing school or because I carried myself in a way where they couldn't tell. And so that's a big thing. Like, that's something where no one can really teach you. You have to really be okay with who you are and what your license is as it is now. If you want to continue education, I am all for it. I'm for you broadening those horizons, getting that coin, getting that education. That's amazing. A lot of people choose to become an LPN, like I said, because you only have a year to complete the program. You get to go into the field, learn, experience, hands-on experience. And if you choose to go back to school, either you have an employer that's going to pay for a good amount, if not all, and you're also, working, getting that experience and able to bridge. So LPN to RN bridge programs, that's a thing. So that way you don't have to start your whole nursing journey over because you already completed that year of LPN. You kind of just like start from there. You resume off. So you don't have to start over. So that LPN program, usually it's LPN to, there's some LPN to ASN. There are some LPN to BSN bridges. The one that I was going to do before I had my hysterectomy was the LPN to BSN bridge, and that was with Indiana State. I got accepted and everything. That's what I was going to do. But then I decided, you know what, this isn't really what I want to do. I'm just doing this because I'm tired of y'all talking crap to me. And that wasn't a good enough money for me to spend 20 grand. So yeah. That was me. So I just chose to gain that great experience as an LPN. I learned so much during my 5 years. I learned so much from CNAs, MAs, doctors, NPs, from patients, from EMS drivers, from janitors. I learned so much from everybody. And that's the whole point of what we do as healthcare. It's interdisciplinary. You're supposed to learn something from everybody so that the patient is able to be well and go home. So it's a team effort. It's not, oh, me, I'm better than you because I have this many letters behind my name. And I don't know when that shift happened within this, the nursing field, but I wish it would shift back. I wish it would shift back, especially now after the whole COVID thing. I guarantee you now there's not going to be a patient on event saying LPN or RN. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So stop being so credential heavy and really just think about, why do you want to be a nurse? Do you want to do this? If so, then do it. Do it. You don't need permission. You don't have permission. You just need information. You need resources, which we can totally do. You have nurse.org, you have me, you have Google, there's information out there. We can just grab that information and inform ourselves. We can make an informed decision, not based off of Instagram and not based off of, what's famous on TikTok or what my aunt who works at Starbucks and isn't even a nurse, who thinks what an LPN is and is not. I'm not going to make a decision based off those outside factors. It's all based on me and what my life entails and what is where I am in my life at that time. And that's what I want you guys to take away from this. All right, so let me get back into these questions. All right, hello. So once again, let me kind of reorient the room. My name is Nurse Sam. Yes, Samantha. My name is Samantha. Don't call me Samantha unless I'm in trouble. Just say Sam or Nurse Sam. Hello. All right, so I am 29 years old. I am the CEO and founder of NurseSam Global Media. I create wonderful study guides and other fun source resources to help you guys, that's LPNs, LVNs, RNs, succeed and thrive in nursing school so that you guys can become the best nurses that you can be. So I know with me in nursing school, I am a visual learner, and I just was not able to retain anything, especially my first semester in nursing school. I super struggled. Especially because I was coming from um, a world of musical theater and acting. So, I was taught to memorize. I had to memorize my lines. So going into nursing school, I'm still thinking, okay, let me just read this book and memorize it. And no, ma'am, no, Pam, that was not working. Memorizing and nursing school does not go together. And plus, because I'm a musical theater person, I just reading it just wasn't doing it for me. I wasn't retaining it. I had to act it out. I had to add some color to it. I had to be entertained in order for me to retain the information. And I don't know if other people was like that, but for me personally, that's how I study. And, I tried so hard to conform myself to everybody else and their study styles and their study habits, because nobody else had all these crazy color pencils and sticky notes galore and comparing everything to Disney. Nobody else was doing those things. They were just doing just regular stuff. They had their highlighters, they had their index cards and stuff like that, but they were doing things the more traditional way. But that just wasn't working for me. I couldn't do black and white. I needed color, I needed fun, I needed entertainment. So I created what I didn't have. So I think the hardest part for me in nursing school was definitely that first semester because I had to adjust to nursing school, if that makes sense. Like I said, my learning style was totally different because nursing school is not like any other type of school. It's not like regular college. The amount of information that you get in that amount of time. It's a bunch of information in a short amount of time, and like the way that the nursing questions, like critical thinking, it's not just what is the color of the sky? The sky is blue. It's not that type of question. So there's a specific style. They call it NCLEX style for the questions, but that's something that you have to learn. Okay, it's a skill, to be honest. Nursing school is a skill. And I always say it, and practice makes perfect. When you first go into nursing school, I don't know who went into nursing school and passed their first test, but my hat's off to you, because everybody that I've ever talked to, there was like, girl, I bombed my first test. But that's kind of expected because that's how you kind of gauge, okay, this is what I thought nursing school was going to be about, but I was so clearly wrong. Let me course correct. So that first fail is honestly a gift and a curse, because you're able to really, like I said, course correct and see where you need to adjust your study strategy and your studying. Like I said, for me, I couldn't remember pretty much anything from our first test because I just read everything through and I forgot everything pretty much. And so I started, when I would study, I would put on entertainment, input into entertainment sources. So I would put on TV, I would put on my podcast, and a lot of people say they can't study with their TV on. I'm the opposite. Once again, you have to know you and your study style. Okay, I cannot study in silence. It's like I'm fake ADD, or I don't know, but I will get distracted. So I have to study with TV on. I'm not really watching it. It's just on in the background. It's like white noise, but it keeps me going. But the key part for me, and this is what helped me in nursing school, and this is the basis of NurseSam. The key part for me was that I learned that for me, I had to be entertained in order to retain in nursing school. Okay, so even though I could not, memorize or anything, I had to actually learn how to comprehend which is, you know, it was a skill that I had to learn. And as a nurse, especially as a new nursing student, you have to learn how to critically think as a nurse. And that's a skill that you're going to have to learn. So, you know, with those skills that I was going to have to learn, I had to come to terms with the fact that I just studied different. So I had to, what I did was that when I turned on the TV, I would turn it to things that would be related to whatever I'm studying, aka Grey's Anatomy. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, Grey's Anatomy got me through nursing school, and here is why. And I'm gonna do like a whole series on this because people laugh at me when I say this, but Grey's Anatomy got me through nursing school. Not because, you know, any of the drama or whatever, but because of how I used Grey's Anatomy to study. It's basically how I create my study guides. So when it would be on, let's say we were studying cardio. Okay, we were studying our cardio chapter in nursing school, and so I would put on all the Christina Yang video episodes, all the Preston Burke episodes, the Erica Hahn episodes, the episodes with what's her name, the military one. I forgot her name. Ooh, I'm so sorry, young lady, but I forgot her name. Oh, nope, forgot it. But anyway, yeah, I would put on those episodes, and like I said, I've watched Grey's Anatomy so much, like I don't need to watch the episode. But just the because it's a teaching hospital, like inside the script, they're actually like teaching you. So there will be episodes where, you know, they'll be at a patient's bedside or whatever the case may be, and Bailey will be like, okay, this patient has, you know, this. George, what does that mean? Oh, this patient has Marfan syndrome, which means that yada, 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 yada. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, I'm studying Marfan syndrome right now. Say that one more time again, George. Rewind. And so I started picking up on that. And, you know, the whole series is about, you know, the teaching hospital. So even though it's riddled with drama and all the things like that, it's also riddled with important facts and medical facts that I've picked up on. So I'm actually going to be creating a study kit with everything that I learned from Grey's Anatomy. Keep an eye out on that. But it's what I use to help me through. I use private practice to help me through maternity. I aced it, got an award and everything. Great job. But that's just how I use, you know, things that you wouldn't normally use. That's how I get creative with my studying. And that's how I created the Nurse Sam study bar. So that's, you know, like IV therapy. I compared it to Ivy Park from Beyonce, you know, just an entertaining twist on what would be overwhelming and otherwise like boring information, just so that you can retain more. Okay, so science says and research says that you retain about 83% of what you see. So we want to make sure that what you're actually seeing is going to be something that you can retain and something that's going to stick. So that's why I want to make sure that everything that you see first time, it's striking you with color, it's striking you with detail, striking you with quality, so that when you see that information, it's going to stick in your mind. Be like, oh, I remember that because Sam colored it a really pretty shade of this, and she compared contact precautions to like Spider-Man or the, you know, the MTV thing or whatever the thing I have in my study kit is. But those, you know, little things is what people hold on to, and that's what makes, you know, those memories and those connections is what makes you know, what makes people retain more. It's what makes things stick in your mind. So that kind of like memory is called like semantic memory. It's when you're linking like whatever you're learning or whatever information to a previous experience or a previous thought. And that's how, you know, you really retain more. Let me look at, see what you guys are doing. So let me look and see what you guys are saying. Hello, hello. Does anybody want to join me? Hi, hi, hi. Do you know if any websites that will get you do LPN school? What do you mean? What it depends on what you mean by the website. What do you need on that website? It's different things that you need to get you through nursing school. Do you mean like academic things? Do you mean financial things? What do you mean? Hello, my name is Plastic Surgery Nurse. Hello. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, I don't know what that is. Wait. Do you have any tips for the TEAS test? Yes, I also do. I also help aspiring nursing students, especially those that are applying to nursing school. You know, in order for you to get accepted to nursing school, you have to take the entrance exam, whether that's a TEAS, HESI. There's other entrance exams as well, but TEAS and HESI are the main ones, and you have to take an entrance exam in order to be accepted into nursing school. Now, basically those entrance exams, think of it as like the SAT, ACT for nursing school. It's comprehensive information that you learned from grade school on up. So remember those like tests when you had to like have no class for like 3 days, and you had like a math section, a reading section, and like a science section. It was like for your state, and it was like what you needed to do in order to pass into the next grade. I don't know if y'all had that, but we had that in Florida. It was called the FCAT. So basically this is what that is, but just for nursing. So I swear it'll be the same information, because it's information that we've all learned at some point in our lives. And that's what makes those type of exams so difficult. It's not the content, it's just the fact that it's so much information, you do not know what they're going to say. You know, we're getting tested on everything that we've learned in grade school, and we just don't know what they're going to say. Like I remember I had a question, and I'll never forget because it made me so mad. I had a question. I was studying for like 5-6 weeks. I was like, I'm ready. Boom, I'm going to pass the TEAS. Nothing's going to stop me. Boom. And then I get a question. It's like, what was the first fossil? I can't remember what it was. It was like, what is the innermost layer of the earth or something like that? And I don't know. I was focusing on like chemistry and like math and stuff, and you asking me about dinosaurs and lava levels. I don't know, girl. I do not know. So that's what makes the TEAS difficult. It's just the fact that it's not the fact that, you know, they're asking you like, oh, what is the point of no return? What is the speed to the moon and back? It's not asking you that type of stuff. It's asking you like simple stuff, but sometimes things are so simple that it's hard. Going back to the basics is honestly not as easy as you think, because you're really having to go back and remember the simplest and most basic of things. And you also you honestly like second guess yourself. You'd be like, you know, what is the chemical formula for water? Is it H2O? Is it H2O? You think it's so common. It's just like, okay, I must be tripping. So that's really why, you know, TEAS and HESI is just like our worst nightmare before going into nursing school. TEAS is like the worst nightmare before we get into nursing school. And then we're just like, nursing school is our worst nightmare. All these exams, especially cardio and renal. And then NCLEX is our worst nightmare. So I promise you guys, you can all do it. I did it. I had to break it back down and literally go back to the basics and build it up. Because like I said, I'm a visual learner, and at that time, about 8 years ago, there was not even half as much cool resources that you guys have, study guides and study kits that are, you know, not just themed, but are colorful and to help you guys to really grasp the information. You guys have much more resources than I did 8 years ago. And I wish I had that stuff when I was in nursing school. And even now, there's some things that, you know, that I wish I had. So I choose to create that. I choose to create what I wish that I had for you guys, so you guys won't suffer the way that I suffered in nursing school. All right, someone said, I'm sorry, I'm new here. Which country are you from? I'm from this one. I'm a registered nurse from Pakistan. Hello. Yes, I'm from the US of A. Hold on. He said, I just started my doing this in school, made a decision to serve. That is an amazing decision. That's a great decision. So many people make the decision to start off as an LPN and then progress to BSN. That is a financially smart decision. It is mental health wise, it's a smart decision. And if that's not your decision, if that's not your route, it's perfectly fine. The point is, any route is okay. There is no right or wrong route to get to your destination. That's why it's called routes. It's different ones. Okay. Hey. All right, let me look. Have you considered becoming an educator or instructor for nursing students in nursing school? Not like officially. That's pretty much what I do with my Tease Tuesdays and my NCLEX Jeopardy and my upcoming NCLEX Arcade. I love being able to not necessarily like teach you guys, but to share with you guys other study tips or other resources that helped me. And so if it helped me, I want to make sure it helped you. And plus, there's certain things that I know for sure that I've learned from my experience as an LPN. And as nurses, we are educators. So nurses is synonymous word with educator. So I kind of see myself as an educator already, just one by trade, and two by the fact that from my NCLEX Jeopardy, my Tease Tuesdays, and being able to help people pass the NCLEX and having such a high success rate of people taking those study kits and taking, being a part of my lives, being part of those NCLEX Jeopardies, really take that and actually pass. That is what it's literally amazing. And that is why I have chosen to stay doing what I'm doing, because that's given me more than anything that any save from. Mind you, I love what I did before. I love nursing. I love being an LPN. However, and I love helping people, and that's why I chose to become a nurse. However, when people ask you, oh, why do you become a nurse? And you said, because I want to help people. I didn't know that can have so many different meanings. And I thought that if it didn't have that one specific meaning, that it was wrong. Like, I thought that in order for me to be a nurse, I had to help patients. But here I am as a nurse, and I'm still helping people, but I'm helping you guys. I'm helping you guys become better nurses, and helping you guys become nurses and pass nursing school to become nurses, and to be able to do those things to help patients, and be able to live out your dreams, and be able to do the things, to live out your reason as to why you're becoming a nurse. So my why has shifted, and shifted in a way that I never dreamed would, happen for me, especially as an LPN. And so, I really want you guys to not limit yourselves just because you're an LPN, or just because you have a specific title doesn't mean you can't take it and run with it, if that makes sense. Just like on the NCLEX, avoid absolutes. Stop limiting yourself. Stop saying LPNs can never do this. LPNs can never work in hospitals. That's not a fact. That's not true. I know plenty of LPNs that work in hospitals. So just those absolute words, never, always, it'll just cut you off at the knees. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And if you have, those thoughts in your ear saying, okay, if you think that LPNs can't do this, or can never do this, you're not even going to try. And that's not correct. Okay, do your own research. All right, take charge of your own destiny and your career, and draw those lines yourself. Okay, make the lane yourself. Do you think I'm a professional study guide maker? Like, do you think I became an LPN because I was like, I am going to sit at home and think about creative ways to refurbish this boring information? I had no idea. That's what I was going to do. But I love it, and I would not change it for the world. And I'm still a nurse, and that's what I wanted you to take away. As an LPN, this is how I'm practicing as an LPN. It's not your traditional nursing home. By the way, you can do more than just work in a nursing home as an LPN. But yeah, so here's a face of a licensed practical nurse, a Black licensed practical nurse who's out here killing it. Okay, she's not low paid. She wasn't low paid when she was working in doctor's offices, in outpatient centers, and she's not low paid working for herself. Okay, so don't go into it based off of those stale jokes that aren't even funny anymore. You know, people saying, oh, low paid this, you know, whatever, insert whatever corny LPN joke here. Played out and corny. Okay, take charge of your own destiny, do your own research, create your own lane, and drive fast. Okay, all right, so let me look and see. Someone said, can I see your feet? Oh my God, you guys are weird. Hello, hello. Oh my God, Student Nurse Planner, I love you guys. Huge, huge fan. Thank you guys so much. All right, so who wants to hop on live? Not the weird feet guy that said, can I see your feet? No, not you. Will this help me for my RN, my NCLEX RN? Well, this live won't help you for it. But I have products that will totally help you. My Ultimate Nursing School bundle, which is also, it's AKA the Ultimate NCLEX bundle. It has all 24 study kits that I have, ranging from fundamentals, pharmacology, dosage calculations, maternity, pediatrics. And the thing about my study kits and why they are different than the other study kits on the market now, which there are some amazing study kits online. So if you guys do need help and don't like what's in your book, you have so many options. Okay, the thing that makes mine different is that, like I said, I have that entertaining aspect. I believe that you retain more when you are entertained. So everything, the things that entertained me when I was growing up, the things that entertain me now, I took those aspects and applied it to those study kits. So for example, like I said, IV therapy is related to Ivy Park, so it's Beyonce themed. So all of the pages are named after like Beyonce songs with like an IV kind of theme thrown into it, like intravenously in love too, or upgauge you, like, you know, things like that to make it, you know, catchy and cute so you can remember it a little bit more. Dosage calculations, that's Monopoly themed, so cute. I have a clinical report sheet that's like Starbucks themed, looks like the side of a Starbucks cup. NCLEX lab values are like nutritional label values. Some really popular ones, the endocrine one with the pituitary, that one is Cardi B WAP. The WAP stands for whole interior pituitary, not the other WAP. Little dangly thing that's hanging in the back of your throat. Okay, that's what that. No, it's actually in the back of your hypothalamus. That's what it is in the kit. So, or the EKG one is like Nicki Minaj, and those are just examples of just like fun, popular, like pop culture themes. Fundamentals is like Rugrats. Just really fun, creative, innovative themes so that you guys can remember more. Thank you, thank you, thank you guys so much. Someone said, is it advisable to go straight from an LPN to BSN? It depends. See, okay, I always say it depends because it depends on why you want to go straight through. Like, what's your rush? I always say experience is the best teacher. So I don't see what the rush is. Like, if, like I said, I went my route, my slow scenic route, LPN. If I was going to continue to do BSN, if I, you know, was going to continue to let y'all bully me to go into BSN, I was doing the LPN to BSN route and stuff like that. But But was I going to go straight to it? No, I wanted to work a little bit. Because I wanted to make money. That's the whole point of me starting off as an LPN, so I could stop, make money, and then, you know, continue on my education. But if I'm just going to become an LPN and continue on into school, what was the point of stopping? And I don't know. So it depends on your reasoning as to why. That's why I said it all depends on you. It's hard for me to answer those questions because I don't know, you know, your story and your reasoning as to why you even want to become an LPN. I can totally help you guys with those, with answering those questions, but I can't answer that just off the bat, if that makes sense. Someone said, why is it so hard for people to know that LPNs are also nurses? Don't know. I just don't understand. Me neither. And don't get on most of the RNs. It is as if there's a beef between LPNs and RNs. I know. I know. I can't tell you how many times like my Instagram has been reported for like hate speech because I've said LPNs are awesome. Didn't say anything about RNs. Didn't say RNs suck. Didn't say anything about RNs. All I did was just acknowledge LPNs. But for some reason, someone took that LPN praise as RN hate and reported me, and whatever. But I don't know where this competitions between, I mean, I think there's competition between pretty much everybody in every field, like LPN, RN. I'm pretty sure it's with ASN, BSN, NP. Actually, I don't know who, maybe NP and RNs or NPs and doctors probably. I'm not sure. I'm not in that. That's not something that I would know because I'm not neither of those things. But yeah, there's always some sort of competition. There's always some sort of comparison because deep down, everybody always wants to compare and always wants to be like, oh, this is what you accomplished. You could have done it a little bit better. Whether or not they mean to do that maliciously or not, it's like people are always like gauging you to see, like, I don't know, see if you can do better. So, you know, even if you come around and say, oh my God, I just graduated with my RN, they'll be like, awesome job. When are you going to become a doctor next? Same thing with like when you tell people, hey, I just got engaged. They're just like, oh my God, when's the wedding? And they don't mean it. They're just super happy for you, but they're rushing you. People want to rush your timeline because they want to see what unfolds. You know how people like binge watch on Hulu and Netflix and stuff like that? It's because they want to know what's happening. It's because they have no patience. They have no patience for the show and what's happening in other people's lives. That's why people project. Projecting is so real. Projecting is so, so real. So yes, just like when people say, oh my God, yes, you got engaged. When are you getting married next? Or, oh my God, you got married. When are you having kids next? I get that all the time. And my answer is always, never, because I had a hysterectomy. And before that wasn't my answer, but now it's my answer because it's my truth. And now you feel uncomfortable, but you made me feel uncomfortable. So now we both uncomfortable. So now what do we learn? To stop asking uncomfortable questions. So that's just an example. Is people just want, people just want to see you do things, and people just like really just want to like live vicariously through you and your experiences. So if they see you say, hey, I just graduated from this, okay, go and do something else. Go do something else greater. So I can say, I know you. All right. So yes. All right, guys, this was a wonderful conversation. Someone said, until LPNs actually go to RN school, they will understand the difference. Honestly, and nurses always competing. Just do your job and make your money. I disagree, because the issue isn't that LPNs don't understand the difference. The difference is the issue is that y'all keep telling us what we don't understand, or society keeps telling us what we want to do, or what we plan to do with our license and what we're doing. As far as that comment saying that LPNs, like until you become an RN, LPNs don't understand the difference, I can strongly say the same in reverse. Unless you are in an LPN school, so if you're an RN, unless you start as an LPN, you don't understand either. So right back at you. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I don't know what else to say. The issue isn't that there's a difference and there's a hierarchy. Obviously, there's a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy everywhere. LPNs, RNs, doctors, we know that. Okay. The difference is that, well, the issue is that the competition, and it's an unspoken competition, and it's one that's like projected onto you. Even if I don't come in there wanting to compete with you, it's like you put that competition on me. You don't understand the plight of the RNs. Okay, I'm not an RN, so do you expect me to? Do you understand the plight of the LPNs? I didn't come in here claiming to want to understand the plight of RNs and the difference and stuff like that. What I came in here is trying to understand why y'all keep disrespecting LPNs. That's my plight. Someone said ecos. There's something in my nose. Wait. Hold on. Let me look. Is it out? Is it out? Y'all could have told me. Well, technically you did. Thanks. I think it's out. Thanks. Someone said, I agree with you. It just makes sense. Thanks and things. Hey from Turkey. Which is better, UWorld or nursing.com to study for the NCLEX? It depends on your your study style. I'm retired RN over 40 years, only 2 years now. I miss it every day. Aw, congratulations. Man, 40 years. Woo, I know you have some stories. Hi. And using their so-called titles to intimidate us. Inbox check. We'll do. Hey. Going into deals that were most LPNs, and I had to rely on them because nursing school didn't focus on data. Right. Thank you, James. Thank you. There's just some things that you don't focus on. But like I said, LPNs are taught to focus on the skills, while RNs are taught to focus on the administrative side. So a lot of times when you hear people saying, oh, LPNs can run circles around RNs, it's not that or the opposite. It's just that LPNs have more experience with skills and more practice doing those skills. So they're more likely going to be better at that execution than an RN. Like I said, doesn't have anything to do with your capability. It's just this person has been able to practice more, so they're better at it in that specific skill. Not in life, just in inserting IVs or whatever it is. You guys take it and run with it all. I swear. But I feel the same way until I actually went back to school. I've been in LPN and Ireland, that's what I'm saying. But both parents, when there's a scope. I do understand that there's a scope. Don't tell me that I don't understand there's a scope. When we're not talking about the scope, we're talking about the fact that LPNs are nurses. Maybe you just came in. I was saying that there is a hierarchy. There is a scope. That's why LPNs focus more on skills and RNs focus more on administration. There's a scope of practice, but that scope of practice also differs based on your state. So with your scope of practices in your state may not be the same limitations on somebody else in another state. So, yep. What can one do as a male nurse to overcome this stigma? That's a great question. Because I'm not a nurse, I wouldn't know. I mean, because I'm not a male nurse, I wouldn't know. But there's a ton of male nurses that I love to that I follow that talk about that stigma, and especially the one where like all the male nurses pretty much do all the brunt work. You get all the heavy patients, all that stuff. So I would reach out to one of them, Merce Mike. He's great. You can James said you can inbox him. So there we go. All right. So like I said, this was a great conversation. I hope the thing that we took away from this was that LPNs are nurses, just like RNs. There is a difference in scope of practice. If there wasn't, then they would be called literally the same thing. So let's go ahead and establish that we know that there is a difference between LPNs and RNs. Yes, there is. Okay, great. Okay, awesome, Iran. Thank you, and I see you from Iran. All right, so yes, please stop taking and using your scope of practice and using that as a weapon. We all know that there's a difference in scope of practice. There's no point in continuing to tell us, like, what's the point? Anyway, thanks, guys. This was a wonderful conversation. Like I said, my name is Nurse Sam, LPN extraordinaire and professional study kit maker. So yes, if you guys have never seen an LPN that has been retired after 70 years and is making professional study guides, here she is, okay? LPNs are nurses, LPNs are awesome, and so are RNs. We are all a team, we are all great. We work together to make sure our patients are alive and well at the end of the day. So whether you are an LPN, RN, whether you want to be an LPN first, then become an RN, whether you want to be an LPN and just stay an LPN, whatever you want to do, it's your world. We're just living in it, okay? So just make sure you are making the decision that is right for you in your life, in your situation, your circumstances. Nobody else is going to live the life that you decide. Nobody else is going to take those NCLEX questions, and nobody else is going to take the T's and apply for BSN after LPN. No one's going to do it. So you have to make sure that's a decision that you want to do. Continuing education is an amazing thing, but make sure that you want to do it, okay? Becoming an LPN is a great thing. It's a great stepping stone to see if nursing is for you. And even if you don't want to do it as a stepping stone and you actually just want to do it as your career choice, that's amazing too. LPN is a great career choice, okay? If you want to explore and broaden your horizons, you can do that because there's nowhere to go but up. That's the amazing part about being an LPN. You're coming into the nursing career and there's literally nowhere to go but up. Okay, so great job. Love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram at the Nurse Sam. Once again, I do study guides and I create study guides and other fun resources to help nursing students thrive and survive in nursing school so they can pass NCLEX and become great nurses and all the great nurses that I know you guys can be. All right, so I hope to see you on my page and I will see you then. Thanks, guys.